Hi everyone, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today it seems that I am better, but I don't know if I am uh, really um, over what happened yesterday. So I am still a little bit like flowing, levitating in the air. I don't know if this feeling that I have, like still levitating, is this energy that I am feeling since yesterday, or that I just ate uh, Indian food, and it was spicy. So maybe that's too. I wanted to share what happened today in the pyramid, which was something really beautiful and symbolic. That yesterday, I was with Judith. She came from Spain to help me to be to take care of me while I was in the sarcophagus, and so she was the uterus representing all the wombs, all the uterus from the network, according to the task that we did. So remember that yesterday we shared this task of bringing all the information of the uterus to the core of the uterus of the world, and the pyramid is like a fractal of this uterus of the world inside. So the chamber, the king's chamber, and the sarcophagus represents like this womb. Okay, so where people used to lay down to die and then to resurrect, to be born again. So I was lying there in the floor in the sarcophagus doing this process, and it was amazing that we were able to feel all this feminine energy from men and women, it doesn't matter, but we felt all this connection of all the wombs coming to the pyramid. It was so powerful. So and a big energy of the mother came to there, and the sarcophagus was dirty with someone put oil during the day. We don't know why, but it was with some oil. And so today, when we went back, we went with some people of the trip, and and when we got in, there were mainly women sitting on the sides of the chamber. I guess there were six women or seven women. I was speaking with someone, and suddenly there were 4 men that came into the chamber, and they started to clean the sarcophagus. And it was amazing because all the women were meditating in the sides of the chamber, holding the energy. I was talking to this person, and the men were cleaning the uterus of the chamber, which is the sarcophagus. So it was really symbolic that that after what we did yesterday, they were cleaning, and the men were cleaning the uterus of the feminine, of the women. So while the women were holding that energy, so then they left the chamber. The 4 men left the chamber, and we started to sing to balance this this clean womb. So it was really symbolic and amazing what happened today after all the connection of the uterus. So great. So of course that they were yesterday they were thinking that it was us that put that, because I was crying so much that they were like were you crying? Like I left all wet, but the sides were with this oil. So until the moment, I don't cry fat. So so it wasn't me. Um, I don't cry oil by the moment. The other thing that I wanted to share, what happened today that was really cool, was about this person that was inside the chamber today. That he was a Egyptian guy, and he was praying the Quran while we were meditating, and he was like upset, and suddenly he asked me, what are you doing? So so I said, well, we are meditating, and he asked me about what it was, and he told me, and I asked him, what are you doing? And he said, I come here every week to pray the Quran, to set the evil of this place go away, because this is not a place of God, and what you are doing is not for God, is the evil. So I asked him, so what is God? So we started this chat about the Quran and the divine through the Quran. So one of the things that we were talking about was where it came from, because he said that we are slaves of God and that the other ones are mistaken. So the only way to find the skies, the heavens, is through Allah. And he said, and he told me that the Islam is just one path, but the beginning of everything was the thought, the thinking of God being above us, and that that we came from one origin, which is the thought of God, and that through the time, different people took different paths and dogmas about this same idea, this main idea. So he said that most of them, they were all disconnected from the origin. Okay. So the question that I made him was, why so the rest are mistaken if all of them has the same origin? To that question, he said, well, the reason why they got mistaken is because the other religions say that God had sons, or that or that God brought someone from the skies, but or will bring someone from the skies. And he said, but Islam is the only one that says that God created everything, and that's it. So that's why we are the ones that are not mistaken. So one thing that I asked him was, what happened with all the people that, for example, in South America, in Asia, in North America, that never had the opportunity to be in relation with the Islam, and they also felt this connection with the divine, with God, and they are doing everything that they can to love God, but they don't know the ways of Islam, so they created another religion to do the same. And what happened with them? God will love them anyway, or forgive them? And he told me, well, they will have another opportunity because they don't know, so they will be forgiven, and they will be given another opportunity. So I asked him, why if God take us as slaves, he allowed for so long that people take other ways to reach him. So what I asked him was, if God take us as slaves, why isn't and the path to God is love? Why would love? Why isn't unfair that all these people that hadn't the opportunity to face the Islam, to let them die without this opportunity to face the Islam, to go and to find Islam, and they die not knowing? Wouldn't this be unfair? So he said, well, it's not unfair because they will have an opportunity, a tiny opportunity to do it. And I said, but if God is love, wouldn't allow them to come back? And he said, yes, they would come back. So I said, if God is love, given this opportunity, wouldn't him allow you to love him through the love of your mom, the love of your wife, the love of your kids? So then I asked him, if you are allowed to love God through your family, why we cannot love God through the stars and the earth, if that is also his creation? So I told him, no, we are not. So he said, but the mistake that you are doing is that you are praying to stuff, to things, and you can only pray to God. And I said, no, that's a mistake. We are praying to God. We are praying to God through the things that he created. So I said to him, look at them that are meditating. They don't know Islam. They don't know the words of Islam. So they are meditating and singing because they don't know the words. So they sing to God instead of praying. So he said, so I said to him that you are here knowing the words of God, knowing the Quran. Allow us to hear the words of the Quran. So what you are doing here is helping us to also understand this other way to communicate with God. So I asked him, do you think that God, if he is love, would forgive these women that are meditating here, trying to communicate with him because they don't know the words in Islam? And he, of course, said, yes, sure. So I said to him, so thank you for what you are doing, for praying the Quran while we are meditating, because what we are doing, what you are doing here, is helping us, and we are communicating all with God. So we shake hands, and he thanked me for what we were doing, and I thank him for what he was doing. And I said, sometimes we have these problems because we don't speak to each other, but basically we are doing the same. And I thank him because he taught me about a lot of things of the Quran that I didn't know. and he left with a smile, so it was good. So related to what happened yesterday and what happened today with this conversation is what I felt like plenitude. So plenitude is this feeling that we have not when we fill ourselves with so many things from the outside until we just believe in our own vision, but when we open to receive and to share from the heart what we simply are. So we have two visions about plenitude. One is to be full, and the other one is to be plenty. To be full basically is when you just receive things from the outside and just eat all the things from the outside without any space to change your own perception, to change your own self. And to be plenty is the opposite. Instead of just filling up yourself with stuff from the outside, you just fill the void. And when you fill the void within, you have the space for everything. And it's in that moment when what we feel inside stop limiting us and becomes to be expansive. The reason why we perceive plenitude with being full is because in our body, what we are trying to do is to fill ourselves with things to fill up the gaps that we have inside. Because we feel insecure, because we don't want to die. So we want to have things to feel full. Some of us used to say that when you have a plenty stomach, you have a happy heart. And this sentence of filling up the stomach in order to feel happy is not only something physical, it's something cultural. This is why when we start the path of spirituality, we also begin to try to eat and to fill up ourselves with concepts, expectations, ideas. And it's not bad when you do this, because it's a way in which you can assimilate information. What is really bad is when we do this believing that this is the only way. This is how a dogma appears. So this is why we should not fill up our stomachs. We should always eat, live in an empty space, so we can feel more light. Because this empty space is the one that allows you to feel with much more energy, to open to new things, to be more flexible. This is why fasting is the way to purify the mind. Full stomach, happy heart. Empty stomach, free mind. And this is exactly the same in the opposite. Empty mind, happy heart, and happy body. And the society that we have designed for us, we are scared to an empty mind. We are scared to not having any belief. And we have to know that an empty mind is not a mind that doesn't have anything inside. An empty mind is the one that is open to everything. So this is why, imagine if instead of opening myself to the Islam today, I would have been just defending my position of, no, we are all God. What would happen? And this is what happened throughout all our lives when we find ourselves with different visions and dimensions. So remember, plenitude is not to fill up yourself with many ideas of the I, the me. Plenitude is the ability to be open to who am I, who I am. The plenitude can be only felt, can be only be felt from the void, because the void holds the everything. Let's go to the information for today. The vibration for today is V. The statement for today is, I am the legacy of the heart. The code for today is color red. Very low vibrations are expressed in the deepest vibration. Among them is the infrared, a vibration that all that exists emanates, and that originates the warm visible reds, color of fire, and the spark of energetic creation. This way, red is related with the tetrahedron, with the kundalini, with the lower vibration of light, where the shadows, the hidden, the sexual and energetic vivacity move. So let's connect then. There are some people that were asking, what was the message of the future that you received? Sorry, I'm not going to share it because it's my future. We begin to take deep breath, to stretch the body. Take a deep breath. I recognize that I find myself on the top of the desertic mountain between the clouds. Far away, below, the savannah and its animals. I take them in my memory, for there I find my origin. And now I will begin a path through the deepest desert, the heaviest one. And I see this desert from the top of the mountain. In my hand, I hold the crystal that I received a time ago in front of the lion. I see now from the sky a new light descending. This time is a quantum ship made with geometry, irradiating the light everywhere. And within, inside of it, it has a fire. And when it reaches the ground, it touches a tiny tree, and the tree enlights in a fire that doesn't burn. Take a deep breath. I get closer to the fire, and I remember that I have asked, "Who are you?" And the fire answered, "I am who I am." I give to this fire my crystal, and as I deliver it, I see how the fire turns the rock, the crystal, into dust and light as it shines. And the light, with its voice, tells to me, reminding me, now the crystal that shines is your heart. And it reminds me, go back to the heart and expand its beat. So I go down the hill, running through the desert, crossing a dead sea, following the stream of a river, until I find a place of peace. And there, over a rock, find me 4 people, that they are waiting for me. I get closer to them, and they invite me to be in the center. the four of them tell at the same time, I am the Messiah. And I recognize in their faces the main prophets of the four main religions. So, with my vibration, I give to them the legacy of the I am from my heart. As I keep pronouncing the vibration, I feel the fire of the I am enlightening from my heart, enlightening the four prophets. And I remind them, I am the legacy of the heart. I am the legacy of the heart. I am the legacy of the heart. I am love. I am life. I am the path. I am the truth. I am the light. I am who I am. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see. For I am who I am. Take a deep breath. And slowly, each one at its own time, come back here and now, opening your eyes. Thank you, everybody, for being here and now. Thank you for being